All right, listen up, because what I'm about to tell you will completely change the way you see the legal system. There are lawsuits, and then there are, well, lawsuits. The ones so ridiculous, so mind-blowing, that you start wondering how they even made it to a courtroom. Imagine suing yourself and winning. Imagine suing McDonald's because their coffee was too hot and walking away with millions. Now, these aren't TikTok clickbait stories. These are real cases that have set legal precedents and changed the law forever. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see the legal system in a way you never have before. Now, you might be thinking, why does this even matter? What does this have to do with me? And those are good questions. But these cases aren't just entertaining. They actually impact your life. Some of them changed corporate policies. Others made it easier or harder for regular people to win lawsuits. And one of them might just make you rethink how you live your daily life. So let's get into it. Here are the most ridiculous, insane, and mind-blowing lawsuits in history. All right, first up, case number 1. Let's start with something so ridiculous it sounds like satire. In 1995, a man named Robert Lee Brock filed a lawsuit against guess who? Himself. Why? Well, Brock was in prison, serving 23 years for grand larceny and breaking and entering. He claimed, though, that his own actions, his own crimes, violated his constitutional rights, and that since he was responsible, the government should pay him $5 million in damages. Let that sink in. The man sued himself for violating his own rights. Now, Brock had a brilliant legal strategy behind this. Since he obviously couldn't pay himself $5 million, he argued that the state should be responsible for his actions while he was in custody. But the judge saw right through it. The case was dismissed with a note that, and I quote, said, "Plaintiff has presented an innovative approach to civil rights litigation." I mean, even the judge was impressed with this creativity. But here's where it gets a little crazy. Brock isn't alone. People have successfully sued themselves and won, even though technically you can't really sue yourself. But if you think that's wild, just wait for this next case. Case number 2, the McDonald's hot coffee case. All right, you've heard this one before probably. Some lady sued McDonald's because their coffee was too hot. Most people think it was frivolous, like, come on, it's coffee, coffee's hot, what did she expect? But the real story, it's way worse than what you think. Here's what really happened. Stella Liebeck, 79 years old, was in the passenger seat of her grandson's car. She ordered a coffee at the drive-thru, they parked, and she tried to open the lid to add cream and sugar, what most people do. The cup, though, it collapsed, and the coffee spilled all over her lap. What happened next, though, was even more horrifying. 3rd-degree burns, skin melted off her legs, she needed skin grafts, she was hospitalized for 8 days. And here's the kicker, McDonald's knew their coffee was dangerously hot. At the time, McDonald's was serving coffee at 190 degrees Fahrenheit, far hotter than what was considered safe. They'd actually received 700 reports of burns before this lawsuit and did nothing. So when Stella Liebeck took them to court, she wasn't asking for millions. She originally just asked for $20,000 to cover her medical bills. But McDonald's had it their way, and they refused. They offered her only $800. She took him to court, though, and the jury, disgusted by McDonald's negligence, awarded her $2.9 million. The media, though, twisted this into a silly lawsuit, but in reality, the case forced McDonald's to lower the temperature of their coffee, probably saving people from serious injuries in the future. And on appeal, I think the $2.9 million was knocked down to about $800,000, $900,000, something like that. All right, this next one is for all the paranormal fans out there. Did you know there is a case where a house was legally declared haunted? Yes, this actually happened. In 1991, a couple bought a home in New York for $650,000. What they didn't know, though, the house had been featured in newspapers and magazines as a haunted house. The doors would slam shut, shadows moved, objects flew across the room. Previous owner even told stories of encounters with ghosts, but they never mentioned this to the buyers. When the couple found out, they sued the seller for fraud because, legally speaking, they had been tricked into buying a haunted house. And the judge, he agreed. The court officially declared the house haunted, ruling that if a seller promotes a home as having ghosts, they must disclose that information to the buyers. This case is now taught in law schools because of its insane legal precedent. So, what can we learn from these crazy cases? Well, the law isn't just about rules, it's about interpretation. Even ridiculous lawsuits can change history. And sometimes, people actually win lawsuits you'd never expect. That's why understanding the legal system matters. Because whether it's a hot coffee case that changed corporate policy, or a haunted house ruling that protects buyers, the law is way crazier than what you might think. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, tap that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching.